Hello!
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, and welcome to another Anime in UK. I am, of course, Timothy Lunn with my wonderful co-host.
Hello. My name is Rebecca.
And you may have noticed there's another voice on this stream, and it may be a ghost.
Hi. Maybe a bit spooky, yes.
Oh god!
But don't worry about me. I'm not going to hurt anyone. Honest. But yes, my name is Karen. Hi.
Hi, this is our good friend Karen, who we've known for years. Actually, Karen, have I known you longer than Rebecca? I think I have.
You have, yes. I knew you from when you cosplayed Naruto back in 2007, maybe, or 2008.
Oh, don't let Rebecca know I cosplay Naruto. I think she's gonna.
No, it's fine.
See, back in the day,
You just wanted to be Hokage.
I wanted to be the Hokage. Believe it. Funny, I think I met Francis the first time I was dressed as Naruto. Yeah, wow, small world. Met everyone dressed as Naruto. I've known Karen years. The funny thing is, I met you, and then you kind of disappeared for a few years, and I found out because you bloody went and moved to Japan for a few years, didn't you?
Well, I went to Japan for 1 year. I was at University of Manchester, so that's why you never saw me in the London meet.
Yeah.
And then, once I got back from Japan, I ended up meeting Rebecca.
Yeah.
Hello.
Because Karen is pretty, normally, honest to God, when we have to talk Japanese to someone, Karen is like our go-to person.
He's gotten a bit rusty in the past couple of years, but I do try and keep it up.
Yeah. We have managed to, because we have had situations where we need someone to speak Japanese, and Karen actually can seem to hold a conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you have.
I do work with Japanese people. That's the secret, though.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird that you kind of befriended me and then befriended Rebecca, and then kind of me and Rebecca befriended each other off in another. It's just weird that kind of the three of us we didn't meet through each other. We kind of knew in a weird triangle, and then hey, we know each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a weird world, isn't it? Just weird world how people come together. Well, funny the fact that I brought up Japan, because that's, I guess, in a weird way, abroad. I guess today is our big subject matter. Why do us Brits go abroad to conventions?
Yes, that aren't in Spain.
So yeah, it's a weird thing, because I guess some people look at us and go, well, why do you spend all that money just to go to an anime convention? There are plenty of anime conventions here in the United Kingdom. Why do you want to go to somewhere else? You could spend that money and go to Disney World.
You could, but that's a bit out of our budget range.
Yeah. No, trust me, Disney World is bloody expensive. I can vouch for that.
But, no, you raise a good point, and I think it's because really UK cons are nice. The community is very good, and we love it here. But to a point, you are paying a lot of money, and it is almost coming to about the same amount you would pay to go to a con in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we've got the residential cons like MianiCon, KidCon, of course, which is coming up. We all looking forward to KidCon?
Yeah, I need to get ready for it, so I finally know what the flip I'm doing.
I'm getting my robot ready for the Crappy Robot Wars. My base robot came today. It's going to be fun.
Fabulous.
So that's going to be fun. I hope you guys can cheer me on.
I'll probably miss it because I'm loser-conning, but I'll be there Sunday.
That'll be cool.
Or Friday.
It'll be cool to see you, Karen. It'll be cool to see you. We'll catch up. Hopefully I'm catching up with Chris Homer, who we had on a few good couple of episodes ago. That's
more than a couple, Tim.
More than a couple. Yeah, we haven't heard from Chris, and Harriet will be there. So all the people with guests on here so far are going to be at. It's going to be nice to catch up with Keith.
The whole gang.
Keith.
Yeah, it's like the first really big residential con since RMA 2018, and that was a bit of a.
That was a bit of a nightmare. I really don't want to talk about ArmyCon 2018.
No.
It's kind of like...
quiet, and apart from a few things. And then, it kind of just happened.
Yeah. And
that's the bad place. We don't want to go there.
Yeah. I think it was more the fact that it was a building site. The convention was a building site.
Yeah, they kind of were like, we can still run a convention here. Just about.
Still good, it's still good. They literally, one of the rooms had just been knocked down. I'm not joking, it was like...
Oh dear.
It was like... I mean, they sort of stuck us in like one of those metal boxes. Someone's like, just come along and go, oh crap, there's supposed to be an anime convention here. Just put a metal... Oh god. But all the refurb is apparently done, so I'm looking forward to see what Kita.
That's good.
That's for another episode. We're talking about going abroad. And
yes, we are.
I mean, we've all been abroad together to a convention, haven't we?
We have. Our first convention abroad was all together, in fact.
That was that was a bit chaotic, that one, but
it was very chaotic.
But we
I started getting some really bad comps from that convention.
You did. I still remember that.
We had to learn many lessons for that one.
Yeah.
Nearly got in a fight with Tim.
I know. I mean, it's like the nearest me and Rebecca has been to like totally. But we learn. Funny, because I actually went past the hotel we stayed in that first time. That's a story for later, when I was like getting rushed back to Paris and I almost missed my Eurostar. That's a fun story for later of our Japan Expo trip, but latest one. So we have all three of us have been abroad to a convention, and I mean, MCM is great. Mostly when people don't get on stage, and people ask really cringy questions, like myself. The thing is that yes, it was amazing having Trash Taste here, and MCM do get anime guests over time, but they normally tend to get like one or two. And see, something like Japan Expo is just massive and gets loads, and there's like lots of cons in Europe that are a lot more. They will get a lot more like anime guests.
Yeah, like they're a lot more dedicated to Japanese culture.
Yeah, that's the other thing, that MCM does do a lot for anime, but of course it's not purely just an anime convention. Same with Hyper Japan. It's a Japan culture convention, not just anime. London Film and Comic Con, I don't even know what they're thinking about over there anymore. Of course, we've got Mega.
Same with Hyper Japan. Certainly, where you got stuff like MegaCon coming up. Got all these little small Comic Con companies that have popped over the last couple of years.
Yeah. But
we've got some cons which shall not be named.
Yeah. There's another certain con and everyone's going to go, why didn't you go there?
It's shit.
It's shit.
Just it tends to be quite...
Okay, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to mention the name of the convention. They tend to seem to get the same guests over and over again. No offense to the guests they get. But no offense, I'm looking for something a bit more beefier. I'm looking, for people who actually have produced anime, who have directed anime. And they even invite voice actors now, no offense. I think I met most of the dub anime voice actors. And the fact now that they charge you so much just to meet dub anime voice actors. Back in my day, you got to meet them for free and they gave you a poster for the benefit.
It did used to be free, yes.
It's like I remember meeting like Johnny Young Bosch for free. Steve Bloom for free. And like now, that would probably cost me like 70 quid.
It would cost you a lot more because the nostalgia factor has something.
Yeah.
Gotta spend it all. Comic Con.
I know not many people might be able to roll off the names of European conventions in their head because they might not know that many, but I can think there's some big ones like Desukon in Finland, AnimeCon, and Japan Weekend Madrid.
Yes.
And you've got things like...
Usually... Go ahead.
And you've got stuff like Dokomi.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Lucca Weekend Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in Italy. they're all very big, and they usually get a big signature anime guest to go with them.
Laka did get Araki from the JoJo's artist one year.
Yeah.
Very fabulous.
Isn't that the Italian one that's in like a village?
Yes.
And they just take over the entire village. That actually looks like a really cool con. I really like to check them. I think we'll do like a wish list of cons towards the end that we do want to visit. Yeah. That actually is one.
Yeah. Luca looks very pretty.
Yeah, Luca does.
Luca comic.
Of course, we got one that I noticed at Tokunatsu, which I was at this weekend. One convention I noticed getting a lot of. It's almost like the Brits. The Brits have taken over it. I think there's more Brits there than anything. Is viencon? I have pronounced that right, haven't I, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
I have. I've put on.
This is like the anime-con version of Benidorm.
Yes. The place, not the TV show.
That's a good way of putting it.
I believe this is in Holland. Am I right?
Yep.
It is. Yeah. It's in not far from Eindhoven, heading towards the border of Germany.
Ooh.
And I guess it's kind of it's a very recent convention only, and it's like third year, counting the past 3 years that.
Yeah, of course, stuff happened.
Time skips are mad, yo.
Yeah. viencon is an interesting con. I'm actually not attending this one. Shock horror. But you girls said you will be sending me video, and I will be sitting here editing it already.
You'll be editing it. I'll make sure there's tons of clips of chickens for you.
Oh god.
There'll be plenty of content, and I mean, in terms of like things we wanted to, I guess, discuss. So even though it does feel like a very British convention due to the number of people there, it's a very different setting, and it kind of has a somewhat more relaxed European feel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it's technically inspired by the American Colossal Con, which is where they hold it in a hotel, but one of the main features of the hotel is that it has a giant pool.
Yes. This is like what I call the water park convention for Europe.
And you get a pool. I just hope it's still there. The slide where you actually press the button, you get music playing down, go down it.
Oh god, I heard all about this.
It's amazing.
You get the SpongeBob SquarePants scene too.
Of course. I know a lot of you guys are going. I know, like, practically all the Toko camp people were going. They're like, "Yeah, we're going to viencon. Are you going?" And I'm just sitting there going, "No, I'm not very good at swimming."
You don't have to be.
I don't know. I'm just gonna like get trapped in. I'm terrible at water slides. Ask my sister.
No.
Like, did you want to hear funny stories of me on water slides? Just ask my sister. I think the last time I went on a water slide was like Universal Studios in like. Yeah, it was Universal Studios. It was like we were staying in one of the hotels, and I was going down so slowly because I didn't want to make a big splash at the bottom and like go under the water. I don't know, just afraid of going under the water.
I think Rebecca managed to get the technique down quite well in viencon.
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate to think more Rebecca.
But admittedly, it's a very different event, I think, to a lot of European conventions in the sense that even though it is relaxed, there's not a whole lot of anime content, so to speak.
Yeah.
There's not much dealers either.
No,
don't really get. I think like there's only like a handful of dealers.
And usually they're kind of like local artists.
Yeah.
And we'd like to see the dealers grow, and we'd like to see.
Yeah.
I mean,
wasn't last time it was on? It was up against another convention, another
Abunai.
Abunai.
Yeah.
Yes, that was it. Is it up against
another
Abunai?
one of the big Dutch conventions?
Is it up against Abunai again?
I don't think it is.
So that may be, because I will say with dealers, it could have happened at Tokunatsu, is as MegaCon and Manchester Comic Con was. I know it's weird. There was 2 Comic Cons in Manchester all at once. So I think a lot of the really big stalls were at those conventions because people going to
money,
but be at those things.
I can give you a fun fact about viencon's date, actually.
Oh yes, I know one of the days it is. What is it, Karen?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know if I was going to give that fact, but I was going to give the fact that basically, after having a chat with some of the people that run it, I found out that basically the reason it's run the last weekend of August, and it's probably always going to be run the last weekend of August, is because basically it's after the Dutch school holidays shut, so the price of the place goes really down.
Yeah. It's like... that's actually quite handy because Centre Parks in school holiday times pretty much have to sell a kidney on the black market.
Yeah,
it's perfect for a British weeb invasion.
Yeah, so I'm guessing the Dutch kids go back a bit earlier than our kids because normally.
Yeah.
The reason I know all about that date is because the 28th is my birthday, and they always used to have it off as a kid, and it was like,
oh, we'll send you a happy birthday video.
Yeah, and also the 28th. Do you know what the 28th? There's actually now has an actual like day of celebration that isn't my birthday.
Oh, what's that then?
It's actually Power Rangers Day.
Oh, fabulous!
Because it's the date of the first ever airing of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the United States. So literally my birthday is also National Power Rangers Day. So
I bet you feel Power Rangered.
Yes. Even though I was born before the Power Rangers aired. Super Sentai. I'm not as old as Super Sentai, so I guess technically. But so isn't it you all live in cottages there?
Yeah, we live in cottages.
You do.
We have a freezer, we have a fridge.
Yeah.
We have go-karts, we have golf.
Go-karts.
We have a TV.
That's good. Does it have
Actually, people don't put cringe stuff on. That was bad enough last time. Let's avoid that.
What's that?
I mean, definitely one of the hardest parts of booking a place for viencon is that you usually need a group of people to book the chalet. So it's a bit like wanting to go solo because you generally need people to go along with.
Yeah. Like I if I wanted to go now, I would have no one to go with.
Oh, what a shame.
I know. Unless I slept on one of your guys' floor.
I don't think you're allowed.
But no, maybe not.
Oh well.
You can come along next time.
Maybe. I don't know. That's the thing I got to really decide. I think I'll bring it more up in the Japan Expo section. I got some big decisions on cons I want to go to in the future. But
that's fair. Fair.
That's kind of the thing. So is there lots of fun events at viencon?
No, I mean, there is definitely a lot of events, and they're trying a lot harder with their panels.
Yeah.
Like I think I've definitely seen attempts at a kind of name that tune style thing where you have to. It's a lot more violent actually. You have to run after like these chairs with donuts on, and you have to stick the donut on your head and then fully name the song and also who sung it. So it's like a really harder physical version.
That is hard mode. That's like name that tune hard mode. No, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm pretty decent at name that tune. And
but then they have a masquerade as well. They have a few things. I think they have beer tasting this year as well.
Oh no!
They had beer tasting last time. I think they got a maid cafe.
Yeah, no, they have maids. They don't have maids of England. They have maids of Scotland. Maids of Scotland come along and often do a lot of events for them.
Oh, that's interesting. I caught them at when I went to Ami Manga Pop. They seem to be getting around Maids of Scotland.
Yeah. And then, we'll get onto exploring it full later, but usually at the party later on, there's a mixture of both disco and karaoke, so you can choose what you want to do.
Yeah.
But, as Rebecca explained, and because of the way the convention runs, because this convention isn't quite like regular conventions in the sense that because the pool is the main highlight, they need to book it for a specific time for all the cosplayers to go.
Yeah.
And that's usually between 8 and 11 p.m. for a pool party.
Oh God. I hate to think what you'll get up to the pool party.
Allowed alcohol in the pool.
Do you all drink in the pool?
No, we're not. We actually breathalyse before we go in.
Yeah, we are properly. They do properly check, and they don't allow people that are that drunk to go in the pool. You have to swim responsibly.
There's all sorts of inflatable level hijinks. Somebody even played an obscure water sport there. An obscure water sport from an anime.
Oh god,
I think you forget the frogs.
Oh god.
Yeah, and the frogs. But frogs better still be there.
I hope so.
I personally made sure those frogs are not there anymore.
There's a full range of pools. So I think it's definitely big enough. You would think I had concerns before going as well. It's you've got about 300 odd convention attendees here, and this is kind of your typical holiday park pool.
Yeah.
Before you actually go and see it, so you're going, can this really fit 300 people? And it can, surprisingly. It's very good. It has lots of separate small pools. One has a lazy river. It's a jacuzzi.
Oh, there's lazy river? Is there a hot tub?
Yeah.
Can you say there's a hot tub?
It's very tiny lazy river, but there is a lazy river the same. And then there's also a wave pool.
Nice.
The aforementioned slide.
Yeah.
And an outdoor pool as well.
And there's a kiddie slide. Well, the outdoor pool has a hot bit and there's a cold bit.
Yes,
I am too much of a Weenie Hut Junior to go in the cold bit.
Yeah. Well, maybe this year, as it's so damn hot, you may want to go in the cold bit.
Who knows? It is very late at night, though.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, even though I say it's quite late at night and it finishes at 11, you would think that would be the end of the convention, right?
Yeah.
You'd be wrong. Yeah. The disco goes on until 3 a.m.
Interesting. Do they play songs?
Yes, there's even a Eurobeat night.
Yes, it's Decima Sounds, which are very good known for doing a nice range of music.
Cool. Because do you hear?
We still have an Anisong evening that keeps up to date with things, so it's quite nice.
Did you see Toko did a silent disco?
That looks amazing.
Yeah,
it did look a lot of fun.
Mike Reese and Mike run it. Of course, Mike being one of the Mikes being my future brother-in-law. You have to guess which one. They were doing it. It sounded really good. I wasn't there for it. But yeah, because I think the problem with Toko, they can't make too much noise. So they did. So they did 3 separate channels.
In a village.
They really get you in a little village.
Yeah, it is a village.
It's like a mini village, Toko. I do like these really kind of niche, Toko. I think there's only one other convention in the world that's a camping con, and that's in America somewhere. And and I like this is ones in the water park. It's kind of nice that they're doing something nice and unique, and would make sense to why you want to travel abroad to experience. You wouldn't get this in the UK. We barely have any water parks.
No, true. But it fits quite nicely for summer, and it's a very summery vibe. And also, you go ahead, Rebecca.
Yeah, and also Netherlands has lots. There's lots of stuff. It's Netherlands has Haribo frogs that are cheap. In England, they are overpriced because I got swindled at those bloody Oxford Circus candy shops for about £4 for a pack of them. They were delicious, but cheaper frogs are at Netherlands.
They're a benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Europe always has way better Haribo than we do here in the United Kingdom.
Germany's got Mario Haribo.
Well, I think that's where it's from. Haribo's from Germany.
I know.
Yeah. The Germans beat.
So it's a German brand, so they probably will have the most Haribo. We should go to Germany and go to Haribo. There must be a factory. Just break into the Haribo factory.
The Haribo convention.
Haribo the convention. We need a Haribo convention. We need a Haribo the convention.
This is going to end up like episode of The Simpsons with the going Venus de Milo, isn't it?
Yes.
Probably.
Ooh.
Oh dear. But yeah, as Rebecca previously mentioned, because I was saying the convention ends at 3 a.m. each morning, most people don't wake up that early. And then so when you're waking up, you don't really feel like going to panels because you need to save your energy again for the evening. So,
yeah. But
fortunately, the Centre Parks, as Rebecca said, is filled with lots of activities, and that's usually what forms the most entertainment. It's actually quite fun.
There's a zoo, isn't there?
Yes, well, petting zoo.
Yes, it's very fun to go and cosplay and just be like, I'm with a chicken.
Hyper Japan has a pet. Has a children's zoo next to it.
But it's not free access. They don't allow you free access to it.
Is there a donkey in the Battersea Pet Children's Zoo?
I don't know. I haven't been in there yet. Maybe there is.
Yeah.
Probably.
Are there chickens?
Maybe.
Are there ducks?
There's a monkey in there.
Is that you?
What? I didn't go up. What was that? Was that a hiccup?
No, I think it was something a bit about you.
What? This is weird. Okay. I'm not trying going off on one. Okay, the day I came back from Japan Expo, which is what we're actually talking about next, something really weird happened in my house. This is honest God. I just need to say this. It's nothing to do with anime. So me and my dad were minding like our own business, and I was sitting sort of in the conservatory with my dad, and we had the doors open. And we left it open because it was like the hottest day ever, and that was like the day I almost didn't get back from France because of literally all the rails almost got melted. And so we're minding our own business, and then all of a sudden the door just shut. And you think, okay, that's creepy enough. That's creepy enough already. Then the next thing happened. The TV, so we're watching the football, just started glitching up. Just out of nowhere, it was sort of the audio just started going weird, and then all of a sudden, like, I can't quite describe it. The picture just went really like almost like it started like going for like 1 frame per second, and literally sort of almost stopped. And I don't know, it just felt like something had come into the room and just was like fucking with the TV, and then it sort of like it almost like left. And then I literally like grabbed my camera to see if I could like, because you know sometimes you take photos and you can pick up things you can't see. And I looked through, I couldn't find anything, but it was just the weirdest thing ever. And now I'm just worried that my house is haunted. Like honest God, if you see anything freaky happening in my house, just like let me know.
You might have bought something weird from the Dribble Bar or the charity shop.
Yeah, probably.
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, I said might be a ghost, but I can tell you it wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
That shows you in anyway. That
was just weird. And, like earlier on, no joke, we were all in the room because my mum went to go and see Frozen. She really liked it, by the way. And just out of nowhere, Alexa started saying, play something on Spotify, and it was like out of nowhere. We like didn't say anything, or I was talking about something totally different. And it's like it's been a few times like that where it's just like weird things have been happening. So yeah, guys, if you notice the Anime in UK studio is haunted, please let me know. We're not doing this.
We'll try and do that. I think it's like new technology at least.
Yeah, true. But I did bring that. So I did bring that disclaimer, guys, that this studio may be haunted. So yeah, please, you see anything, just to put the timestamp, and
we will do.
Okay, back to your regularly scheduled programming. So we're talking about viencon.
Yes, we were talking about viencon, and so we say there's loads of activities. We are hoping to get around to. I'm sure we're hoping to get around to go-karting and more golf, a combination of mini and pitch and putt.
Interesting.
In cosplay, of course. And Rebecca, did you want to talk about the dining options there? Because there was a really lot of nice variety, I remember last time.
Well, you've got your mini supermarket, where it's basically like a little supermarket where you buy stuff like you can buy stuff like pizzas and things like that.
There's a nice range of European food as well. Yeah. It's all decently priced.
Yes.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about the fast food place that has the wheel.
Yeah, there's a wheel where you just get something every time.
Yeah, you'd love this place, Tim. Basically, it's the fast food restaurant has, every time you go and buy some food, they have this like Wheel of Fortune outside, and you can spin it and you can get everything from like a free burger, so like just a free additional burger, to a high five off the staff member.
Oh wow, I'd be really disappointed if he's like, high five. That doesn't cost anything. That does sound cool.
Staff member does put effort in it.
I'm sure it's cool. Yeah, no, that.
There is a restaurant on site.
Ooh. Yeah, There's like a bar and a restaurant, so it's really well like laid out.
It's the bar Weatherspoons.
It's not Spoons.
No, not Spoons, Tim. We have class in Europe.
Thankfully, it isn't.
Okay. I just wasn't sure they started having them in Europe yet. I don't think they have.
No.
No.
I mean, Brits are invading it, but we're not invading. Spoons isn't invading Europe yet.
Okay, that's good. I don't think Europe's ready for Weatherspoons yet.
No, it isn't. They do run some of the kids' entertainment still, though. That was quite interesting.
Oh, wait, I thought for a second you meant Weatherspoons. Like, what is this? Children's...
I would not want Weatherspoons kids entertainment.
I was just like, oh God, I'm like, no. It's like, what number does this beer go to? What number table?
Or how many beers has Daddy drunk this evening?
In Weatherspoons. Yeah, no, Weatherspoons children's entertainment.
It's fine. It just kind of happens out the way, and there's no mascot, so we don't have to go and sing the song to the mascot.
There's no mascot. Okay, you know I'm a sucker for. Okay, this is my like deep dark secret. I, as a kid, I don't know. I've grown up. I really like mascot costumes, not just general furry. I'm just not into furries. But I just really like. I think I went to Disneyland as loads as a kid, so I think that's kind of where it's come from. I just like when brands have a mascot costume. I just like meeting mascots. And both girls have gone absolutely silent.
Yeah.
We just want to let you dig that hole, but we love you really.
Yeah, but I like mascots. There, I said it. I like mascots.
You should be proud as Tim. Be proud. Be very proud.
We will totally use this against you later.
I know. I get that. And I say this, and they'll go, ooh, Tim, you're a closet furry. I'm like, no, I'm not.
You know what's going to happen now? We're going to meet a mascot of viencon, and we're going to be like, Tim,
I know.
why are you missing out?
I will be jealous. I will be jealous. I actually do have a funny mascot story to tell in Japan Expo section. It's quite hilarious.
That will be fun.
That will be fun when we get there. Ooh.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, like, viencon overall is it's a different, it's like, it kind of, if you summarised it, it's kind of definitely a party con, but then it's a nice mixture of you party and then you relax. Yeah. So it's perfect for summer, really.
Yeah.
It would be nice for it to have a bit more, like, anime and Japanese culture content, but, I mean, the company is still very good. Like, you're still hanging out with weebs.
Yeah. That sounds cool. It sounds more like a chill party con. Is there anything else you guys or girls want to talk about viencon?
I just hope it's worth 3 years worth of hype.
Yeah. 3 years.
I'm sure it will be.
3 years worth of hype. So that's a convention that's coming up. And now we're going to talk about a convention that's just gone. Because I took animeintheuk's first ever international trip to Japan Expo. Ooh. Fortunately, Rebecca did not join us, but Karen did.
I did, yes. It's my 7th time?
Yeah, your 7th time, my 6th. Because I didn't go, was it 2018 I didn't go?
Yeah, 2018 you didn't go, no.
Yeah, I tend to find with Japan Expo, I seem to go in a weird circle. I go, I really enjoy it, then I sort of have a year or so where I'm like, it's kind of not as good, and then eventually I'll go, okay, I'm just going to have a rest for a year, and then I come back and it's really good again. So I think I'm kind of in that circle of it coming back down again, where I'm like, I'm a bit like, ooh. I mean, this year I understand with that thing that happened. That delayed the convention for 2 years.
That thing that happened
I do understand it was going to be different. But at the same time, I'm a bit like, if there's not more guests next year, I'm definitely like probably going to rest the year after. But it's probably the biggest convention in Europe.
Yeah, I would say that. Like, even though like, let's say the guest numbers were reduced this year, it's still definitely does feel like the biggest event in Europe.
Yeah. So, of course, this is Japan Expo that is held in Paris once a year. I believe they have 2 spin-off conventions in, I think, Marseille.
Japan Expo Sud and Japan's Expo Central.
Central just returned.
November, I think.
November. I'd be interested to see what they do with Central, because they put in a lot of hype into that. They've they all the stuff afterwards seems to be, come to Japan Expo Central. So it'd be interesting to see, because I know they did Japan Expo Sue at the start of the year, and I don't think they had any guests.
That's not March time.
Yeah, they had like no guests. Of course, that was when things weren't quite as open in Japan. Didn't bring anyone over from Japan, which was quite interesting, because I'd say Japan Expo is big pool. The big pool. Japan Expo just gets a ton of guests. Like, let's see if they still got the guest list.
They should still have.
Yeah, because sometimes they do still have it up, because sometimes they take it down. But like, they actually go out and get guests from Japan.
They do. One of the benefits is they don't just take them from anime, or they don't just take them from gaming. They take them from a full range of Japanese culture. So you get anime, gaming, music guests. Yeah, some cultural guests too.
Because normally they do a guest of honor for each. So there was an anime guest of honor, a music guest of honor, a video games guest of honor. This year I think they only announced the music guest of honor, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumours of who
I heard
they were wanting to get, and I think
I heard
just of course missed out because of
one. They kind of announced, they did actually say, I think because they did do a film festival for him. They did actually I remember it sort of worded saying, and if he is unable to attend, he will be doing a virtual Q&A. Yeah, which in the end he unfortunately didn't come in the end. So I have a feeling he was supposed to be the guest of honor. That would have been awesome if he had come.
It would have been. We didn't attend any of the screenings, but it did say he did do the Q&A. So he took everyone's questions and did answer them after each film.
Yeah, so that was cool that he did that. And I got where's that coming from?
It's not.
It's like midnight. It's midnight. It's midnight. It's my one. It's my one. It's like,
you're exploding. Please don't explode.
Oh, I'm exploding. I'm exploding. No. Yeah. So there was like, this year was an interesting range of guests. Just going through them out. It's weird because on the English side they don't list everyone. There's certain guests they don't list.
No, they didn't.
And the weird thing is that some of the guests they don't list were actually, because sometimes it's understandable. It's like internet celebrities in France, which I kind of understand that most people the only one I actually know was Benzai. He used to be on Channel Awesome back in the day. I still never gone and met him. I should go and meet him one day. Yeah, I remember you were on that guy with the glasses before they all hate each other now. No, he was actually quite a cool guy. But yeah, he did video game review. I think he still does. I think he's quite popular in France still. But so back in the day, he was on. He was also on that guy with the glasses. But as you said, I've sort of gone through the list. Normally, this list just goes on and on and on. Right here, it's just a bit like, it sort of gets a few in, and then it sort of goes.
It did pad it out a lot with French guests, as you say.
Yeah, which is understandable because, as I said, it is a French con.
It is.
Yeah, we can't be here and be like, you can't. No, understandable. And I will say, now I don't have to stand in the autograph line because they have improved that. But
they have a lovely new app system. Yes. So
when it works. But I will notice that the lines back in the day for the internet guests always got really big. Yeah. I would say a lot of there were a lot of people going for anime guests, but I'd always the normally would be some lines for the internet guests, and they would get pretty full pretty fast. So there were people they do have appeal, which was always cool to see. But at the same,
I think it's definitely made the app has definitely made it accessible for a lot of people, and even though one of our pro tips before would have been like, get there as early as possible, I mean, to a degree, that's still true. I'm sure you can divulge on why that is, Tim. But now, if you want to meet guests, it's not so bad.
So, shall I start from day one? So, I do have a bit of a moan at Japan Expo to start us off. I don't know if Rebecca's heard this story yet. So, okay.
Is this the one where they got confused about where you came from?
Okay, this is I'll explain what happened. So, I normally get the Zen ticket. This is like a VIP, we always call it pay to win ticket, because you get let in early, and I think you get a separate line. You used to be able to just skip all the food lines. It was amazing. You literally could just walk up to like a food place, and they'd be like, "Sorry, we have to serve this person." Amy hated going in that because I would just be the biggest jackass ever in it.
But you are a jackass.
I know.
All the time.
Yeah, I know, but it was really. I remember it being a massive line for hot dogs, and just like I was in the Zen line, and the woman, like, if someone came up, she's like, "I'm sorry, I have to serve this man who's just got here because he's got a Zen ticket," and I'm just like, "I will take all your hot dogs." And I'm just like sitting there watching all the people, like, "Oh, those people at the back, they haven't got their hot dogs yet."
Yes. I think they realised that they were giving a bit too many.
Yeah, they were.
Not enough money. And
I can even admit.
You're very yummy still.
I can even admit that. Right, so to the story, they announced the Zen ticket. Then they all of a sudden announced I got my Zen ticket, and it has like my name and my face on it, which I understand because as it's VIP, they don't want it to go on the resale or anything like that. So normally what happens is they'll open up the day before. I go along with my passport, show them the passport, and they say, "Oh God, not you again!" And literally, it's a pre-printed ticket. It's like the residential con when you get the little con passes. They look through it. So I already have a pre-printed ticket. I have a ticket. They can't just give me a ticket. My details is all like on that ticket. So what happens is this year they announced, "Oh, we're going to send everybody ticket by mail if you're in Europe." And I'm like, "I'm in Europe, brilliant." So it came to the time and they started saying, "Oh, we're sending out emails to confirm everyone's address." I haven't got an email. So I email them. And I do get a response, and the response responds as, and I go, try and be as unpolitical as possible here. Essentially said, "Oh, sorry, we're only going to post them to countries inside the EU." Which, okay, I understand, we have left the EU. I understand that is going to probably be more fees. And I don't even mind if they had just said that straight away, in the time. They said, only countries in the EU, because Europe and the EU, kind of two different things. And, so, I mean, I could have had a pop at them saying, well, you've advertised this wrong. But I was like, okay, fair dues. I'll just have to accept it. I'll just do what I normally do, pick it up the day early. So we get to the day of the convention, or the day before the convention, and me and Karen are having a lovely time in Paris, which I still have video of, and I will hopefully be edit and upload, don't worry. We went to the Gundam shop. The Gundam shop was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, as a miniature bit of advice for that, I mean, we found out definitely just through going around France and Paris in general, is just like there's a lot more love for anime and manga out there, and it's very easy to find things. Yeah. But I mean, planning a trip to a convention, or if you're planning a trip to Japan Expo in particular, and you want to explore France or explore Paris, I'd definitely book a separate day to do it, because as we found out on our first year, you want to be staying
near the
right by the convention, and it's out by the airport.
Yes, you are totally out of the way. So I would strongly, that is actually a very good point, Karen. Please do book, and probably don't try going, if you're going to Paris, at minimum do half a day at Japan Expo. Don't do a whole day at Japan Expo going to Paris, because trust me, you'll be absolutely exhausted after.
Yes.
Yeah, Rebecca.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, we can vouch for that. We learned that the hard way, Rebecca. So back to the thing. So I'm like walking around Paris. I'm like, they haven't announced when they're opening up to do pre-registration, and I was like, they probably have just sent all the tickets out, Zen tickets out for everyone else. And then I was like, okay, they're just probably getting some revenge for that thing, that Brexit. And I was like, fine, I'll just get there super early. I'll be a bit further down the line. But as long as I'm there early, I'm going to be quite far up, because they still open up the Zen to pick up tickets on the day. So this is where it got interesting. So I got there a bit later, so I was a little bit further back than I probably wanted to be. So we all go rushing in, and I already automatically know I need to rush into the Zen, like to pick up Zen ticket, not the Zen line. So I get in there, and I say I'm probably about the 11th person in line. And I sort of look behind me, and the line behind me is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like getting massive. It's getting like huge. And it's to the point where I literally see the guy who like owns Japan Expo sort of coming over and sort of ferrying everybody into cattle, castling them all around. And I'm like looking over, and I can see barely anyone like with a Zen ticket going in the normal Zen line. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure not all these people come from non-EU countries. And I mean, it probably took me like 15 minutes, and I'm the 11th person in line. And it probably took me 15 minutes for them to get my ticket. And as I said, they had to like go all the way through, like pick out my ticket. They couldn't just like hand me a ticket. So I would say there was probably only a good 100 people in front of me in the Zen line. So these are people. So I think what happened, they had just really screwed up sending out tickets, because there were definitely other people in the line who were from France. Because I'd seen them like every year, and like they definitely were from, and they just hadn't been sent the ticket.
Yeah, maybe it was like an email error.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened. When they sent that email out, I think you had to confirm to that email, and I just don't think enough people. Now, this happened once before, wasn't it? It was the second year we went, Karen.
I think it was, yes.
Yeah, the second year it went, it was the time we first took my sister. Because I think the first time we went, they opened Wednesday at midday. So there was lots of time for them to get to get like the VIP tickets. And I think they did that. They sort of opened up at like 9, and this is when there was like different levels of. So I was lucky. I was in gold, so I was like the second highest level. And my poor sister had to, I think, wait there an hour and a half. And I think what they decided to do, as we'd all paid more, they decided not to open the convention until we all had our ticket. So it meant I was walking around Japan Expo like for like an hour and a half with like probably only a couple of hundred people in the convention. Very surreal experience that was.
Yeah, it's a very big.
So it was like annoying. It was annoying that they'd done this before. Then they realised, oh, we need to open up the day before, because a load of us do go and get it the day before. I mean, there's a little bit of a line on the first day to get the Zen, but at the same time, it's like I remember because you had Zen last time, you got quite high up the line but they still managed, I think, to get out practically all the Zen tickets to the people before.
Yeah, I remember it going quite smoothly last time. But this year it did seem to be a bit more of a shambles, and we had my friend who got stuck in there for 3 hours.
Yeah, our friend.
I actually got in before them. I took it very easily going in on the Thursday.
Literally, our friend got stuck in that line for 3 hours because she got there later. I think she got there just before Zen was supposed to be let in, and she didn't get seen to for 3 hours. So the convention was going for about... I think they did delay the opening for the rest to try and get some through, but I think eventually they kind of went no. So our friend probably missed out the first 2 hours of the convention because they wouldn't hand out tickets the day before, or I mean, it was a good idea, like what they're doing, and I don't even mind when next time I buy the Zen ticket if they say, look, if you're outside the EU, you have to pay a little bit more for your ticket. You're going to have to cover your own costs. It's like when you order magazines and it always has a like, if you live in England, it costs this much. And then they say, but if you live in Europe, it's this much. Oh, it's the rest of the world. I'm okay with that. I understand. I'm not going to be out of order. I'm like, I'm more than happy to pay my postal fee if it means I got the ticket in advance.
Yeah,
like you can even probably put a little bit more. I probably shouldn't say that, but I'm more.
It's fine. It was probably the only organisational blip that happened the entire event. Like after that, they seemed to be back on the ball and they had everything. They got everyone in on time, and
the app broke a bit at first. The app sort of crashed, and I think in the first thing in the morning we wouldn't quite start up right, and I would have to fully come out the app to be able to get back into the autographs. But once it worked, I will admit that was so much easier, because you normally have to go and stand in big lines, and there'd be like one laptop, and it would have about 5 guests on it. And you have 2
popular guests.
Yeah,
I mean, usually spend the first 2 hours
So it was nice to
out.
walk in and just be like, type in like guest you want, like literally doing it there and then. The app got my ticket for my guest, and you could go over to the Genshin Impact store. I actually finally got in the Genshin Impact store this time. Yay!
Yay! Was it worth it?
Not really.
I don't think it was busiest store. It was busy, yeah, definitely, but I don't think it was the busiest stall in terms of like the one we wanted to go to most, and the one you did make your way over to first. Yeah,
first one of the actually I'm trying to think where I went first. Where did I go?
You went Crunchyroll, didn't you?
I went Crunchyroll. So Crunchyroll had some really fun things on their stall. They had like six different sections. They had a shop at the back, and they had an Attack on Titan section, a Spy X Family section. It's like one of the only ones they didn't get on. Kaiju number 8, that Harry Potter but if he was One Punch Man manga. I always forget the name of.
Is that on Mashal?
Demon Slayer. What else they had? They had another few. They had some other like they had Promised Neverland.
Dan.
Oh yeah, Dan.
Yeah, Dan thing. A lot of the popular shonen series are like Mashal and they have Promised Neverland as well. That was it.
Promised Neverland. I noticed they were made sure it was the manga. No season 2 here, available.
Yeah. No, it's an area I think you'd really like, Rebecca.
Yeah, that's the one thing I really wanted to go to.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, I didn't get on many of the attractions, but Tim managed to get on the highlight attractions.
I managed. So they had an Attack on Titan. So it's like one of those bouncy things, and there's like a colossal titan behind you. It's in the video. You go and watch the Japan Expo vlog. I just knew. I was just like, because I was thinking, I'm like, me and Karen are theme park nuts, and this is where I was like, I know that was going to have a terrible put through, because I was like, oh, it's surely going to be one of those things where there's like 4 trampolines. And then because I remember I was there and the woman was like, and I was like, I'm really sorry, I just want to check, is it okay? I only speak English, can I go on here? do I need to know French to go on here? And she was like, oh yeah, you can go, don't worry, we'll do all the health and safety sort of in English. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's just always the thing in Japan, because you thought, I'm so sorry, I only speak English, I'm making this awkward. And just so many people will turn, oh no, because then normally they go, oh, Spanish, and then they'll go, oh, no, English. Oh, English! I know that. And even the people who don't know it will really try and like will explain, like do like use body language to explain stuff. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm being the awkward one. And it was like I sort of marched into the room, and there was like one trampoline there, and I went, wow, the put through in this is going to be absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, it was.
So they sort of harnessed me up. And I think I was like maybe like one of the first people on it. So it was just like all these people like going, oh wow, that looks so cool. Like, wow. And I'm just like jumping. It was really tiring. Though, I will admit that. My legs were, I think I was only on there for 5 minutes. It felt like 20 minutes. But it felt really good. It was like I was flying.
It was exercise.
I was like excited.
Yeah, exercise. Drink water.
I did afterwards. I was drinking water, and Karen was like, "You got to go back on there later." I'm like, "Give me a couple of hours, Karen." I didn't go back on there. Thank God. I was a bit like I did enjoy it, but at the same time, I just was so sweaty and stuff. But the other sections, I said, the Demon Slayer photo area was nice.
We sadly didn't get on any of the other activities so much, because Spike's family had an escape room, which was like their area. Yeah. But that was, if you thought the Attack on Titan throughput was bad, Spike's family one was even worse.
Yeah, I think it was like,
and so it just didn't seem like it unless you were getting in like first thing and then getting on that queue immediately.
Yeah.
And then they had like Mashler had an assault like Ninja Warrior Assault Course.
I saw that.
In
and
a
I was
tiny
like,
box. That was
no.
like, what is that? Is this?
Yeah, I saw that. I could see that. I looked over when I was jumping up, and I just saw it. And I was joking that this was like some like geek fought by art in here, and I was like, because in France they still have fought by art. And I was like looking over, like, oh yeah, no, I'm not. I just saw it. And it was like a guy like swinging from the ceiling. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. This is my limit. You can put me on the trampoline. Put me on the flying trampoline.
It looked too strenuous for an anime convention.
Yeah, and I was just like,
you go ahead.
I think Kaiju number 8 was a shooting thing, from what I saw.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was another activity we didn't get to do. But all the other photo ops were very nice. Like, like they were very nicely laid out, and you could take lots of really good photos. The Dadan Danda one had a giant manga in it, and it was like, wow.
That was cool. I think kind of the only problem, though, I think a lot of people, when they saw the other lines, they didn't realise you could just walk into all the other ones. Yeah, no, it wasn't very, like, well laid out in terms of, like, it was kind of like an alleyway you could go in with lots of different rooms. Yeah. But the queues kind of, because they kind of converged at the front, you couldn't really make it clear. You were allowed into the other 4 rooms at your songs. So it was really nice, but I guess that was in a way because we just kind of went in there. I think some of the rooms are like no one in there. And we're like, I think if people realised you come in here, they would come in here. I think you checked out the shop afterwards and did their lottery. I got a Spy X Family and Ranking of King t-shirt, and then I had 2 goes on the lottery. I got a Crunchy Hime keychain. So VTuber content, and then the second round I got a Dr. Stone figure. Like a nice Dr. Stone, like a proper Dr. Stone, like one of the top. You did get one of the better prizes from what we could see. Like a lot of it was kind of like the French stuff from ABY style. Yeah, ABY is like a French-made figurine company, and I think they do general merchandise. Now, I noticed a lot more of their stuff over here now. I think we will see a lot more of their stuff over here now that anime is coming a lot more popular over here. It'll be a lot more easier to import. So be expect to see more ABCY stuff over here. True. I think we spent but I think we spent most of the Thursday then just getting our bearings, seeing where everything is. Then we went to the Mika Kobayashi concert midday. That was really good. Because we saw her last time. She was here last time. Yeah. But she didn't have as good of a stage set up. No. They gave her the big stage this time. She was really good. She's of course done music for Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill. Yes. Yep. She did the Kill la Kill song, Rebecca. That's awesome. She did. She didn't do it at Hyper Japan. Do it at Hyper Japan, so we got it exclusively. Britain is good. Britain isn't good enough for Kill la Kill. They got the Attack on Titan song at Hyper. It was it was really good. It was she was really good because that was probably there was 2 big concerts we got to see, and we got to see Blank Paper. Yeah. Who were really, really good. That was like yes, the Blank Paper. What were you going to say about Blank Paper, Tim? I'm saying I don't know about them. Please tell me more. Tell me more. Blank Paper are a mysterious band with a mysterious sort of like they don't want you to know who they really are. Now there's lots of hints. If you go and see their live show, it's pretty obvious who they are. But we're going to be cool. We don't want to dox Black Paper. We're not going. It might not be obvious who they are. You could be just thinking, they sing some really nice covers. You know, the cover songs are really good. Yeah, maybe they just really like those bands and artists that do those songs originally, or it's not a very well kept secret, but I'm just going to be here. I'm going to say is the 2 people they actually are absolutely humongous stars in Japan and have done lots of anime and video game openings, and we got to meet them. That was kind of when we were trying to suss out was it really them. And when you realise, it was very hard to work out though close up. It was like, I'm not too sure. I was like, she had these bunny ears on because they all like wear masks and stuff, and her bunny ears. I was just like, I really like your bunny ears, Teresa. Yes, Yeah, it's just like, oh.
And Casper recognised my launch cosplay. He was like, launch, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, how very kind of you.
Their live set was amazing.
It was very good. Very, very good. Lots of energy. You've liked it, Rebecca, I think.
Yeah. Best one of the... Those two shows seem very... That's just a shame that I think they were about two of the biggest artists that got... Did anyone else get on the main stage? Because I didn't see anyone else on that.
I don't think so. Like, they might have... Maybe one of the French artists did, but like, I don't think...
Yeah.
In terms of music acts, like dance, there was the couple of dance acts. Like, there was... I don't know if anyone remembers, but the EL dance crew, they were the ones that had the funky light suits that kind of vanished in the dark.
Yeah, they
had so many tech issues on that. They had
so many tech issues.
Half an hour to get them on stage, but then they started performing. And it was good.
They were good. We were because we were going to that Gation Impact. Wasn't that the Gation Impact? I was like, I need to get to Gation Impact.
Yes. We'll get onto that.
Those shenanigans.
Thursday kind of mellowed out after that. We went for a bunch of signings after that, and I mean, probably the highlight signing. I mean, I met Kanagi Rabbits, which was the idol group.
Yeah,
they were quite nice. They were friendly. I was like, didn't have too much to say about them because I don't know too much about their music. Didn't know too much about their music, and I hadn't even seen them perform yet. They were kind of like, here's a signing before you've even seen them, and it's like, okay. But we did all manage to meet Yohei Onishi, who Tim could probably tell you a bit more about, because he was a very friendly guy.
Onishi.
Tell me more, Tim.
He was the Sentai.
Oh yes, I'm making sure. Yes, Sentai
Animation Party.
Yeah, he's one of the hosts of Anime Song Party. He's done a load of theme songs for Super Sentai. I think he's done one of the more recent ones, Camera Ninja. I'm horrible at these Japanese pronunciations. He did the Ni Ninja theme song, which the Ninja isn't a very popular Sentai. I do like the theme song. He was so nice. We had a nice long chat with him, didn't we?
We did. He was like, because he didn't have that long a queue, and it was like he could spend lots of time. He was just very happy to meet people. We had such a happy face, and he was like,
we were talking about Sentai. It's like, you've seen it? I'm like, yeah, I've seen Sentai. I was born on Power Rangers.
And me being that non-Sentai watcher, he was like, do you recognise me? And I was like, no, but my friends recognise you.
They like Sentai. They like lots of people jumping around in colour costumes. No, he was super nice. I was telling him about when I met Bioman last time. Because last time they had the cast from the 80s Sentai, the entire cast from the 80s Sentai Bioman. Because that was really big in France. That's like huge in France because they actually dubbed it into French. And they were really cool. So I was just telling him, I was like, yeah, I met Bioman last time I was here. So I'm keeping up my tradition of meeting all the Sentai guests because I had to pay to meet Bioman. But it was worth it. Bioman was so nice. And they gave you like a free book. I mean, it wasn't free. I paid £50 to €50 to meet them. But
it was worth it was worth every penny, right?
It was worth every penny. I think in Japan Expo, I've only ever paid to meet two guests. Do you want to know who they are? Of course, Bioman, I've already said. Do you want to know the other guests I actually had to pay to meet? I had to pay...
Calafina, I reckon. Was it Calafina?
No.
Oh, I did. Okay, I did actually have to pay to meet Calafina. But there was another guest I actually had to pay. I had to pay to meet the creator of Sword Art Online. You know why? Yeah. Because he refused to sign anything that wasn't like this new omnibus edition that had just been released.
The manga, isn't it?
Yeah, he'd only sign the it's like him and the artists, and then you had to go into like a separate room. They wouldn't have them out in public because I think the guy who does the art doesn't like being photoed or anything.
Private person.
He's a very private person.
When I met the Yuri Nice people, one of the creators of that was really private. It was really odd because one of them was really friendly and wanted to chat and get to know you, and the other one was like, no, I don't want to know. I don't. I'm just here. It's like,
No, it was weird because I had to go to another stall, and it was funny because I sort of came along, and I think the guy saw me, and they realised I could only speak English, and I could tell, and I heard the word omnibus, and I went, haha, you see, there's this show called EastEnders, and they have an omnibus edition on Sunday, so I know what that word means. And so I started putting it out, and the relief on his face when I pulled the book out, it was like, oh, thank God, he's realised he has to buy the book. If he wants it signed, and just get in the line, just like
you were safe.
I was safe. Yeah, no, that shows you how good Japan Expo normally is. That year, I met the Sword. I know there's people who really hate Sword Art Online, but I do have a soft spot for Sword Art Online. Sorry, so meeting the creator was a big deal, and that year, that was nowhere probably near the biggest guest I met. And if that, been any other con, I'd be like, oh my God, the creators of Sword Art Online. I can't believe I got to meet the actual guy who created Sword Art Online.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're hoping for big things next year. But we will say, even though this year was lesser, and we say that Thursday did kind of remain mostly chill. Yeah. We did have a bit of fortune right near the end of the day, and probably one of the few people to get to meet these guests who we weren't sure who were going to have signing, and that was they had Mappa there. Crunchyroll brought along Mappa, some members of Mappa, including the president and the screenwriter for Chainsaw Man, Attack on Titan, and a lot of the big series, and they had not mentioned anything for ages, and then a few days before the event they snuck up the signing on the schedule, and we were like, what's going on here?
That's one. This was weird. They and that was the same with the guys who were doing the Netflix movie. They didn't get put down on the thing until really late on, and they sort of had a signing really announced really late on, so just trying to see. I'm sure Mappa had their own thing on here. So we were a bit like, wow, Mappa are coming, because that probably was by far the biggest guests that were coming. Because they did. I mean,
everyone knows Mappa right now because of Attack on Titan and Chainsaw Man.
Because they had a panel and they trolled everyone.
Pretty much all of Mappa's stuff recently has been hits in the last few years, in particular Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
No one remembers it back in the day when we thought it was really cool, do they, Rebecca? With punchlines.
I know. Then they started. Then you and us happened. Everyone went mad.
So it was kind of because they were on lotteries, because there's normally two types of sign-ins. There's lottery, and there's you're essentially first come first
served, essentially.
First come first serve is more for people like me who can just show up early and just hoover up all the tickets, and then the lottery.
They're usually assigned to less popular guests though. Guests they know that
they do.
Usually doing multiple signings, and everyone who wants to see them will get to see them.
And then. Sometimes some guests will have one signing, and it'll be a lottery, and it's we kind of figured out the system, because we figured out the later on in the day you go for it, the more likely the system is to give you.
And I say, we got very jammy on the Thursday, because you messaged me about 3 p.m. being I didn't get it, and then I just tried it. Well, our friend was looking at a stall, and then I was like, oh, I got it. And that was the last ticket. So I felt really bad, because I was about to tell our friend that you should definitely roll for this. Because they really love Chainsaw Man. They were really gutted that they couldn't roll for it. So I was just kind of hey, let's head over. And I just gave them my ticket, because I knew that it meant a lot more. It would have been nice, but I was just kind of it's not ultimately that important to me. I was just kind of it's more important to them. Or more important to her. And she was
so she was really happy.
She got to meet them.
Oh, she
got to meet the screenwriter guy.
And then I tried again on Saturday, because they had a second one, and there was actually two of them. So I love how one of them they just quickly made a sign for.
They announced this guest midway through the convention, being the director of Vinland Saga is also here.
So we got to meet him as well. And I was just I'm really looking forward to Chainsaw Man. Why did you troll us in the panel and not show anything new for Chainsaw?
They promised they would show more content over summer, so that means it's going to San Diego. They revealed a new poster at San Diego Comic Con, and I'm assuming
I think it's Crunchyroll.
There's probably stuff coming at Crunchyroll Expo.
Expo, they know.
There was going to be a new visual, like a new PV out this weekend, I think.
You're looking forward because you're the one who's really looking forward to Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, I thought it was me. Yeah,
that's you.
You did say
that's me.
Yeah. It's a shame you couldn't come. You could have met.
Yeah.
You could have met the Chainsaw Man guy. He was nice, but he trolled a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I wasn't sure how much of Japan Expo I'd be able to do.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't think I'd be able to do. I don't think that if I'm able to go, I don't think I'll be able to do all 4 days unless.
Yeah. We did realise it was very tiring this year. Like Tim definitely, because Tim, you took a couple of days to go home early, didn't you? Or go back to the hotel early.
Yeah. Yeah, we went home. I went home early practically every day because I was just that tired. I was just like, I'm dead. I'm died. And that's normally not. I mean, it was the heat. I think the heat just didn't help this year. I think it was going through the heat. Really.
Thursday was one of the worst days of the heat as well. So it was I think it was 36 degrees at least.
I think even though the heat we couldn't feel the heat, I think you kind of still get your energy drained. And I think that's just what happened is that I was dead this year. Either I'm just running low on stamina, or it's just one of those things. It's just getting thinking. We need to talk about more of the stalls because we only really talked about the Crunchyroll stall.
There was a nice various amount of stalls, and I think that was one of the highlights. But I guess one of the highlights and one of the downsides as well, because we said before about how a lot of people usually queued for guests first thing. Yeah. And it usually meant you could get to all the other really nice stalls they had around, usually they have a One Piece stall, and they have various stalls where you can do activities and photo opportunities. Because they didn't have that with the app now, everyone was immediately like, we want to do the activities and all the photo booths. Yeah. And so it meant that those got really ridiculous queues.
Yeah. What's it? They had a really nice Spikes family stall that had Anyagram.
It was Anyagram, Anya Instagram. We could take photos. That was fun. Oh, and there was the Naruto booth.
That was funny.
See, I was right at the start when I first met Tim, Tim was Naruto and he wanted to be Hokage, and then finally at Japan Expo 2022 he got to be Naruto again.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm trying to think.
And that was. But yeah, there was a lot more. I mean, they tried to make up for the lack of guests with a lot more activity stalls, and they were really popular. I'm
trying to think what other stalls.
You had that one you had to queue for.
Let's talk about that one
with different series.
Yeah, that one of the manga. It one of the manga companies because this is it in France. There's a lot of manga's I think the second biggest manga market. And I think it's one of the main. They had this sort of it was almost like this sort of. They had, I guess it was like the Crunchy one once, but you could line up for each individual one. You stayed in one line, but the problem was it was just so jam packed and just everybody not knowing where to queue and stuff. And no offense to the French aren't the best at queuing. I'm trying to say that the most nice.
We have it down to an art.
Yeah,
we do. We're very good at it.
So the lady was just you know what? She spoke really good English as well. She's like, you know what? She says, do you really want to do the first two things? That I think one of them was Hero Academia and this chopstick thing. It was like the Fort Boyard chop. It really was just Geek Fort Boyard. It was. And I was like, honestly, God, I don't mind skipping them because I really want to do the Ranking of Kings thing. And she just gave me the 2 freebies that were from. She's like, I give you the 2 freebies.
You can get a freebie from each one. You get a stamp, and if you had all 5 stamps, you got the bag at the end.
You go in and you could go in the Chikitsuka Kaijin room where
Weird,
Gojo was in there. And it was a bit like, look, it's Gojo, everyone. I took some real nice JoJo's pose photos. And then everyone was... It was funny because everyone was like, what the fuck is this? And some guy was just like... he was like, do you want anyone to take photos? And I was like, yes, please. And I'm just like sitting there, there's all these like random like French like families, and I'm just sitting there like just JoJo posing, and they're like watching this random Brit.
Yeah.
I realised, because I really like the movie Mr. Bean's Holiday, I think when us Brits go abroad, we all just turn into Mr. Bean.
Could possibly, yeah.
Yeah,
no.
I think that's just you.
No,
that is just you, probably.
There's a great scene in Mr. Bean's Holiday where he's like walking down the road like the wrong way. And it sort of cuts to like the security, and they just look at him and like they look at him, they go, I think he's British. I just imagine that's what they see me coming, and like that's what they're saying. Like, yeah, he's British. Just don't mind. Just don't mind him. He's just a bit. He doesn't quite understand how things work here. And
I think because I did make it. I made it to the One Piece Red stall quite early as well. You managed to go to it later, but I managed to pick you up the good set for the One Piece Red movie, which was I got in the first day right near the end. I decided to just basically get all my bearings on where everything was. Yeah, and they were just about to close the queue, so I just snuck in beforehand. Yeah, and it was a nice stall because they gave you a badge if you followed their Instagram, and then you watched a video inside that was kind of like snippets from the movie with music, and it was a nice atmosphere. But their main highlight was basically to go in and buy their live concert set, which I'm sure Tim can show off at some point.
Yeah, I'll show it. Yeah. I haven't got it with me now. Everyone's hyped.
It's really good value and quality though. Like for what you got, you paid €25 and you got a t-shirt, towel, like a bracelet, and so there was something else, wasn't there?
Like t-shirt, you got the really nice bag, you got a badge, you got like the you got the towel. I'll think of it later. Also, they were giving out the fan Chopper has in the movie for free.
Yeah.
At certain points, like he has them in the movie. He has them attached to his hat. You literally were handing them out. Everyone's hyped for One Piece movie Red. It's coming out over here.
I know.
You excited for One Piece movie Red, Rebecca? You're the big One Piece.
Yeah.
You looking forward? Shanks'
long lost daughter. Good.
Shanks' long lost daughter. That we'll probably never mention again outside this movie. She'll be the most important thing for the next
movie.
Yeah, true. These. I hope it's good character development. Yeah, no, I went in there and they mostly were showing clips that were already available on the internet. They did have interviews with some of the people, but unfortunately it was only French subtitles, so I'm like, I can't read that. It's kind of a shame because there's a lot of things at Japan Expo I like to go and do, because like thingy stalls, like quizzes and stuff, and I'm just sitting there like I can't read French. It's my own fault. I'm not even blaming it. There's not like a complaint of the convention. I understand, of course, understand it's going to be in French. But it's just like I can't read.
But at least it had lots of activities you could do that didn't require the
language. Yeah. And
then they had some nice. We probably haven't mentioned enough about the exhibition stalls they had, because they had quite a few.
Yeah.
Like they had a Wit Studio one, which went through the history of Wit Studio, which was quite nice.
Yes. Which you weren't supposed to film in. I started filming it. I saw the signs. I stopped. I was not told to stop. I saw the signs and stopped. And
it was a shame. It was a bit of a shame because they had really nice storyboards for Spy X Family in there, and like some really nice cosplay references. If you ever wanted to cosplay any character from like a Wit Studio anime series, like they had full character references, and it was kind of like, well, that's a shame you can't take pictures of them.
Of course. They had a Godzilla one as well.
They did have a Godzilla one.
A bit more thingy than that hype in Japan. They just had a load of the posters out. It was like, this is a bit more better than Hyper Japan, even though I hadn't seen Hyper Japan at the time. What else they had? Yeah. We need to talk about the video.
Had the 10 years VCG.
Oh yeah, the 10 years VCG, and we were going through.
But we don't talk about one of the winners. We don't talk about.
We don't talk about a certain someone. And then the video game stalls. I will admit there weren't many video game stalls. I think they had a big Nintendo one, but
they were a highlight. I think with video, there was a handful of video game tools that were really important. But of course, I think we should lead you on with like your experience at the Genshin stand, because that was where we spent a lot of time.
Yeah. We were filming sort of Genshin because I did the my cosplay, the Pento.
You mean the Genshin Nativity Star?
The Genshin Nativity Star. We're just going to call it the Genshin Nativity Star. And we're doing, because I got invited to a Genshin cosplay. Oh god, like when I first went in there were like all these like younger Genshin cosplayers. And I think they were all like dancing around and singing. And I was like, I'm just going to go over there and like go, hey, like, can I join in? And I just went over, and they're like just pulling me and grabbing me. And I'm sitting there going, I really hope this cosplay can stand up to this. Because I'm used to being in those big blow-up costumes. I even said it, like, no offense, people could like rugby tackle me in there and I'm just going to feel like a little bump. It's more if, I get knocked over, that's when I'm going to like people have like ran into me in those costumes. Like it's like, it's going to take a lot to get me off the feet in those costumes. But like this one is only like fabric, and I'm just like, I really hope they don't start like figuring out my terrible craftsmanship. So there was a Genshin stage, and they had a big Genshin cosplay meet. And
yes, they did.
I just like slowly made my way up, and eventually I got up there in my star, and then one Genshin cosplayer started doing the bowing, and then they all were, and I was like,
suddenly had a huge mass.
And it was like everyone. It was like then all the press were coming over and taking photos, and it was like
it became very hard to actually film you, because literally more and more people were trying to get in front to pray.
Yeah,
so what is going on here?
All the press were like coming over and like taking photos and filming, and it was like a point I was like, I'm going to come down now, and then just all these other press people like with big cameras, like, I can't come down now because the press is here. Oh, press is going to be mad if I leave. I was up there a good 5 minutes. It felt like 5 minutes. Was it 10?
It was a long while. It was a long while.
It was a long while, and I was like,
these people in their intricately crafted Genshin cosplay praying to the big fluffy Primogem.
And I was just like, oh my god, this is.
You felt very humble, didn't you?
I did. And I was like, all these people, these amazing cosplayers, and I show up in this like shit posting cosplay. And like I just wanted to do, like, no offense, I just wanted some shots of some like Genshin cosplayers like feeding me up off the stage vegetarians.
Isn't that what happens to you most of the time, though?
I was expecting this, Rebecca, to this scale.
Yeah, no, it was surprising. And I've seen Tim get stuck for photos for a very long while.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to come down now.
Yes. You had to actually have a moment where it was like, enough.
I had to be enough. We're leaving now. I'm going. We did. In the end, we did have to just leg it from the Genshin store. I mean,
you literally pulled. And I think the queues actually do the Genshin stall on the Sunday.
Yeah. I literally pulled the costume off and just said, Karen, if we're going to get out of here, this is our only opportunity. I literally going to have to pull the costume off, and we're literally going to have to run, because people are going to start coming out to go, you put the costume back on. So I think we darted out like the fire exit that you are allowed to go through. It wasn't like I was breaking the law. I think we just quickly darted back through the fire exit, and we were just we kind of need to get out. We would have just been stuck. We would have stuck there for the rest of the day if we hadn't like just made the way out. We were just doing a bit for my vlog. So I hope to bring it back to MCM. I presume there'll be another.
I'm sure you will.
I presume there'll be another. Rebecca's like, no, don't bring it.
No,
we can leave
I'm
Tim
not.
there.
No, not what it is. It's that Tim will probably get robbed by kiddies there.
Yeah, no, like that's it. Tim gets loads of disciples at the Genshin stand, and we can just leave him there whilst he has to get.
That's what we're thinking.
It's like you come my weird Genshin Impact cult. We're going to go talk about Genshin Impacts. We're going to talk about our favourite Genshin characters, like the MILF Witch.
I'm glad I don't play Genshin Impact.
It's just a Chinese Breath of the Wild.
Mm.
You know what, Rebecca? We should put the cosplay on you.
Why don't you buy me that flipping costume?
Would you, if we bought you the costume, would you wear
it? This is Tim's custom version. Admittedly, he did tell me the story of how it's his custom version, and it does cost a lot of money.
Rebecca, if we brought you one to go along with mine, would you wear it to MCM?
You'd have to pay me a lot of money to wear it.
Well, if I just bought you the costume,
what do I get out of it?
A chicken dinner there.
It's going to take more than a chicken dinner to get me to wear a Genshin costume, Tim.
I think you're alone on this one, Tim, sadly. There can only be one star, and I'm afraid it is you.
Is there another Genshin, related shit posting so you'd like to be? Would you like to be the coin?
No!
So you don't want to be the coin. Fair dues. We tried.
I don't want to cosplay Genshin, period.
Right. We didn't talk about one of the best stores at...
No, yes, we haven't talked about two of the best video game stores who also carried probably two of the best guests we were not expecting to meet.
Yeah.
Which one should we start off with first?
You start.
I think Persona, probably. We went to... Basically, they had Persona 5 when Atlas were there with Persona 5 and Soul Hackers 2. Soul Hackers 2, they gave you a nice little owl pin. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Because they've got a little owl mascot. I don't know too much details on the game.
Yeah.
But Persona 1, it was kind of like you could just try out the new Persona 5.
Yeah.
What's the name of the game? Do you know, Rebecca?
Royal Strikers or...
No,
it was Strikers, I think. It was Persona 5 Strikers.
No. It's the fighting game. It's the Persona 4 fighting game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
okay.
It's the re-released.
We're still waiting on Persona 5 fighting game.
Shows how much I was paying attention, but that's because I was distracted by the Morgana mascot.
That was great. So I saw that one of the Japanese ones.
Yeah, they'd imported over the actual Japanese Morgana cosplay, and you could get your photo taken with it. You could it was like a photo booth, and they gave you a printout, and I got it, and I was like,
I want to hug that Morgana. I know people didn't kick the Morgana, but I want to hug Morgana.
But it would tell you to go to bed.
It was a very dancey Morgana. It did the monkey. with me. It was like whilst we were waiting to print off either Tim or Ellie's picture, it was just doing the monkey with me. It was like...
Yeah, because they were doing... Because Sega, I think it was Sega, Dazzle, and Atlas doing it together. So when Morgana wasn't out, they had a Sonic booth. And they didn't have the
Sonic booth was probably one of the highlights of the convention.
So, Sonic's only out at certain points, and I was waiting for the Sonic, and I think I was just timing it perfectly because there was a big fat group in front of me, and I think they were to me it's funny because the lady I think started talking to me in French, and I was I'm sorry English. So she's like the British accent. I'm English too. It's great. She's just like, you want to meet Sonic? And I'm like, yeah, kind of, that's kind of my thing. I like mascot costumes.
Our friend told us a funny story about that as well, where she spoke to Sonic, and Sonic was like, Sonic, no, Sonic only speak English.
And so it was funny, and they're like, yeah, you just wait we'll let you wait in the corner, and Sonic will come out, this magic area in a minute. And so what was that? They didn't quite have a room to put Sonic in when Sonic was getting ready and his stuff.
They just hid him by the TV.
Yeah, so he got sort of a sort of quick, they sort of put some blankets up. And I just turned over at the wrong time, and I just saw this humongous sort of Sonic head floating around. And I was like, oops, I don't think I was supposed to see that. That has kind of thingy the magic. And so I was sort of this humongous Sonic head, and they were sort of sticking it on, Sonic was getting his body ready. And it was great, and his Sonic just came out, and they're like, you're the first person. And we just took photos. It was amazing. It was
the Sonic was very friendly. He gave fist bumps and high fives.
I was like, oh my god, you're my hero.
And you got the best freebie out of it, the best freebie ever.
Yes. Oh yes, we got you, Rebecca. We will present you with this at KissaCon.
Oh my god, yes.
You will be joining the official Sonic sunglasses crew.
It was like,
do I wear those with my Guru cosplay or my Your cosplay?
Both.
Right, I will.
Yeah, we'll make sure that they are. We have a pair at KissaCon.
They are like really nice quality sunglasses.
Really
They're not cheap looking.
Yeah. And it says Sonic at the side, so everyone goes, "Oh my god, Sonic the Hedgehog!"
Oh my god,
Sonic the Hedgehog. So yeah,
literally, I was telling everyone about these sunglasses, and everyone was like, "Right, I need to go."
and everyone was like, "Once at the end, they just like." We went back to get more sunglasses, and then
they were like, "You can't beat Sonic again, but you can do the game, and you can get like
more sunglasses."
Whilst we were waiting in the queue, they just gave us sunglasses, and then we did the game. We got another pair of sunglasses, so we were like, "We are stocked up."
We're stocked up. So there was also a Street Fighter 5 stall, which I went on and got.
It was, yes. No,
I got absolutely
hammered. Can't deny there was Nintendo and Street Fighter 5.
Nintendo had a humongous store, but the only problem was they weren't showing off anything new. No Pokemon.
Yeah, they were mostly doing like game tournaments. They had a nice Animal Crossing area.
Yeah. But apart from
it was mostly just...
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing.
Smash Brothers, Mario Strikers...
It was games that had been out for ages. I mean, last time we went, the time before we went, they had Pokemon Sword and Shield. I mean, I think because E3 didn't happen. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, E3 didn't happen, so there weren't great demos.
I think you'll probably get trailers, demos next year, now that we're definitely getting in real life E3.
Yes.
Brought to you by Repop.
Oh, God. I hope they hire stage security.
Oh dear.
Yes, it's going to be very interesting to see what Repop does with E3. But yeah, so it was kind of like disappointing. Nintendo didn't bring anything new over. I mean, they could have even bought I think there was stuff that was almost ready. They could have bought out. Just a shame.
Yeah.
Just a shame.
But I'd say, no, it was it's fair. But I'd say many plaudits to I'd say we've covered most of the major stalls, but there were definitely big plaudits to the artists they supported. There was a load of artist stalls.
You would have loved how many artists there were. There was 3 different artist areas, because I noticed there wasn't as many there wasn't as many tourist stalls, and I noticed a lot of those sort of areas that were normally the tourist area were they had just used for extra artist alley.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of food booths. There was a lot of Japanese food stalls, and there wasn't as many of the official merchandisers, so to speak.
Yes, but that was really cool that they had a load of the artists really good. There was a lot of artists selling doujinjis and art books. I picked up some HoloLive art books that I can also give you at Kit. I picked up some for you, Rebecca.
Yeah, I also picked up something, so you're being well treated at Kit. Well, I'll probably hand you that over at the weekend. So, yes, you have plenty of presents on the way.
Yeah,
nice.
And they even sold HoloLive pillow. I actually got it here. I can quickly sort of get it.
I get your pillow out, Tim.
Get the pillow out. I got my EN girls. It was nice because they're artists. I think in France, HoloLive isn't that popular or as popular because they haven't done the French one yet. But yeah, it was nice when I did meet people who did know who HoloLive was, and there were quite a lot of artists that did actually have HoloLive stuff. It had some
there was at least half a dozen we saw.
Yeah, more than MCM, I'd say. Not saying the same. And I don't think there are any of the artists who we met at MCM. That's the weird thing. So
it just demonstrates the scale of how many people there. There was even a less popular thing like HoloLive.
Yeah.
Had 6 booths, and then there was for example, Chainsaw Man had hundreds.
Yeah.
That's because it's really popular.
Yes.
Spy Family had it as well.
One of my favourite booths was also in the Artist Alley because they did retro 80s style stickers, and they were holofoil.
Yeah.
They were all holofoil and really retro 80s anime style.
Yeah,
so it was City Pop as a sticker.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, and I bought some of those, and she was very happy to when I went over there, I was very happy because I was in my Gunbuster cosplay, and that's one of the really nice things about Japan Expo is that you can go in I mean, we had Tim's popular cosplay. Tim cosplayed a very popular character.
Yeah,
popular,
that's just Tim's sellout.
I'm not a sellout.
Lots of attention, but then also you can go as a rather obscure character, and because a lot more anime and manga is just so much more loved in France and mainland Europe, there's more than likely someone is going to recognize it and just love it. Yeah. So you get those really nice interactions with people.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. It was nice when people did notice what characters you are. And as I said, anime and manga, because anime is a lot bigger in France. It's even in the supermarkets.
Supermarkets, it's they have manga in large billboards.
Yeah,
the supermarket had probably a bigger manga section than some of the Waterstones.
Yes,
and that's the Waterstones nowadays that are getting bigger manga sections.
Yeah, it's wild. It's there was an anime shop in the shopping centre. There was other shops that sold bits of anime, bobs here, lots of shops, the bookshop had a load of anime stuff. It was you go into more general.
We went in Pull&Bear. No, it wasn't Pull&Bear. It was Bershka. We went in Bershka, and you got Attack on Titan shorts.
Yeah,
I have seen anime stuff in Pull&Bear.
Yeah,
it's becoming a big thing. There's some nice things coming out.
Yeah, so it's become even bigger in France. It's one big here, and then it's even bigger in France. So it is.
Even when I first went to France.
Yeah.
About mid-noughties.
Yeah.
Just a day Calais trip. They had loads of manga in the hypermarket.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's nice to see.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anything... Of course, I do have my hilarious me getting back from Japan Expo story that I'm going to tell at the end. Is there anything of Japan Expo we have got to talk about?
I mean, we didn't go too much into there was on top of there was the main live stage, but there was also the small one they've introduced in the past couple of years, the Tsubame stage, which is actually very good because they had a second big live stage, but it always got quite small guests, quite cool small audiences, unless it was a particularly huge act, so and a lot of people just didn't come and check it out because it was out the way. So they decided they'd move a lot of them smaller music stage into one of the halls, and it drew a lot more crowds, and it was really nice atmosphere actually, because you had Kanagi Rabbits perform there each day. You had Union. That's where we got to see Yohei Nishi perform Ninninga, and he belted out a few classic songs like Saint Seiya as well. His Pegasus Fantasy was beautiful.
Yeah, the French love Saint Seiya. Saint Seiya is probably the biggest anime in France. He was really big back in the 80s when it first came out. They actually got it. We still haven't got all episodes of the original Saint Seiya in English. That's wild.
No, it's a shame.
They've really just put the manga on Shonen Jump app.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was in a very weird area, because that area was technically where they've tried to introduce some of the Western culture again.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say there was much in the way of booths there to really be this is Western geek culture kind of thing.
That felt like that was done very last minute.
Yeah, definitely.
That was probably out of all the convention, and that was the other thing because they then moved because before that was where all the sports stuff was. And they sort of then shoved the sports stuff into the cosplay area. Because before, the year before, or the time I was there before, I ended up going to the cosplay area because that was a good area. If you had a big cosplay, you could just sort of stand, you could do what happens in Japan, where you can have a line and you're not in the middle of someone's store or something. I remember doing that with Pikachu. So it was a lot easier that I could just have a line come along and people take photos, but that meant that now the cosplay area was really cluttered, and you were now in the way of people wanting to watch the cosplay stage, so it didn't feel like there could be that area where the really big cosplayers could sort of get, have that little area that they can have the line.
No, it made sense. So it's nice to have that area, and I think as I say, it works because the Tsubame stage is nice to have an area specifically for the music stage where people are walking. There's still a lot of people traffic through there, so people will come and see it. and it's feels a lot more intimate.
We
you can get right up to the stage if you really want to see the act, and it's like interact with them, so it's very nice. And then, of course, probably the only other thing we missed out on was the fact we went and saw the first episode of Blue Lock.
I was about to say, I just literally that popped into my head. Blue Lock, new football anime, including an appearance of anime Eric Cantona. I'm not joking.
We were not expecting that.
We were not expecting anime. This was like Eric Cantona's, and just Eric, like this full like 90s Manchester United kit, like actual like proper like branding, not like some off brands. Where you get in Pro Evolution Soccer, it would be like, no, it's like he's actually in the right kit and everything. They sketched the picture right, and just shows up. He's like, to be the best striker. Yeah, that looks like it could be an interesting series.
It could be. Like, I mean, I know there's probably a lot of people that are excited for it because it is. Yeah. Where is it being printed currently? The manga, I think it's printed in one of the big magazines.
What one?
Blue Lock.
Is it shown in magazine?
I think it's definitely shown. I think it's got to be here.
It's shown in magazine.
Yeah. Oh, is it shown in magazine? Yeah. So it's definitely in a big magazine. And like, I guess for people that don't know much about it yet, the best way to describe it is it's football Squid Game.
Football Squid Game. Yeah, pretty much. It looks interesting. I will be checking it out when it comes out in the winter anime season. So it'll be one when we do the winter anime season preview. We can.
You mean autumn?
Sorry, autumn.
Yeah, it's autumn. Yes.
Autumn anime season.
It's coming out in awesome autumn.
Awesome autumn. I can be like, I've already seen this, Rebecca, so I can tell you if it's any good. So yeah, that was the line for that was massive. I was getting a bit worried he wouldn't get in, but we had already got a ticket, and
we managed to sneak in like get seats, so it was quite nice, relax because that's one of the nicer halls because it's quite cool in there.
Yeah. Right, shall I tell the story about the wild trip home from Japan Expo and how I almost got stranded in France?
I mean, you would like to?
Yes.
You've been so desperate to tell it.
Yes. So, I decided to go back, of course, going back to Japan Expo, from Japan Expo. So, I'm one of these people, I do like to leave a bit of time, like, before I go back home. Like, especially when you're doing Eurostar, you are like, oh, yes, I should probably, it's like a plane, you should always get there, an hour or two before. Don't just, like, get there when they tell you to get there. So, I got to the train station to get back because, of course, I said we're at the airport, and got up there, and you know those train signs, like I could read on one of them, and it sort of said like 11:35, and then there was a load of French, and I couldn't translate the French no matter what I did. And I believe what the French was saying something like was there are no trains available until potentially 11:35. I have a slight problem. My Eurostar goes at like 12:05. So I think I'm muggins up here. I wait around for half an hour to see if anything happens. There's only like trains going the other way. So do you want to hear actually what happened? I found out afterwards. So these are the high speed trains that go through France. They have to go through like an underground tunnel to get like through France, to get through Paris, I mean.
Yeah.
So what happened was, I'm like, they got stuck in the tunnels with people stuck in them because it was so hot. So what happened is people literally were having to be evacuated from the trains, and I saw an image of like people like crawling like up the tunnels where there's not very much room.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there because I looked at like when I got home, I looked at the picture and I went, when you're like, thank God I actually wasn't on that train because I had a humongous bag with me.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of just imagining myself like all of a sudden me sort of holding my humongous bag, just being like, no, I need to get this back to Eurostar. There's loads of anime autographs in here. I can't like be in my bag. So I was like, thank God I didn't have to do that because it generally did look really scary and it would have been really like, especially if as I said, I don't know any French. They would probably already instructed would have been in French, and they probably would have been like, "No, you British, stop! Like it's an emergency. Stop trying to bring your bag along with you." Leave your anime autographs. So I'm like, okay, the train's the only way back into Paris. And I do hear that I think the train had broken down once already this weekend. And I think some people had actually got stuck in Paris. And I'm like, no, crap, I need to get to Paris. So I ran outside the station. And now everybody's madly trying to like call Ubers and stuff. So what I did is I was smart. I was like, well, everyone's in this area is calling Uber. I'm going to go to a different area and then try and call an Uber. So you remember the water fountain?
Yeah.
Near the McDonald's, when we were walking to the McDonald's. I just went over there, put it all in, and I was just like, please God, just let there be an Uber. And it was like all loading up. And then eventually it says, finding driver. And it was like, found driver. He will be here in like 18 minutes. And now like the clock is ticking. And I'm just like, oh, please. And it was like one of the ones you could see he was dropping someone off. So he wasn't making any movement. And I'm like, please, for the love of God, come here, don't cancel me. Like, because I know they can cancel you and stuff. And I'm just like, no. And then like, there was this guy sort of drives up and he's like all in French, like, and I'm like, and I sort of just showed him the Uber that I had ordered. And he's like, oh, no. It sort of like goes on. And I'm just like, oh, please, just like, and eventually this guy, like the time eventually does go down. I can see he's getting nearer. And it's like just this guy, he knows no English. And I'm just like, dude, you just got to get me to Central Paris because I am fucked if you can't. So he very nice. He opens up the thing. He chucks my bag in. And we're like zooming down the motorway, and I'm like looking at the clock. The clock is like ticking, and I'm just like, oh please, just don't. And I'm like looking at my Eurostar's on time. I'm like, damn, Eurostar's on time. Well, like I was like, I'm pretty confident, but I'm just like, I don't want to know what's going to be like when we hit Paris, because I'm like, if all the trains are down, everybody's going to be taking taxis, everyone's going to be driving. I am so lucky because this guy must have just been a total like Chad at the road because he knew every shortcut. So he's like driving around and he saw things. He'd drive into like the residential areas, and I'm like, oh thank God! Like this guy is just like, he is like, I wish I could thank this guy. I wish I knew the French to thank this man because he is literally saving my bacon like right now. And I'm just like as I said, we went through the area we went to when we first stayed at Japan Expo. I was like, oh, this is the area I like first went in Japan Expo, and it was just so chaotic. Like going on the Paris roads and like everyone's tooting, everyone's trying, and I'm like, I need to get this Eurostar. I'm stuck in France, and I'm gonna I don't think I would have the money to like get another Eurostar. I literally would have to have gone to like the what's it called? The UK embassy and just be like, hi, I'm a dumb Brit who's got himself stuck in France. I'm glad you find this very amusing, Rebecca. And
you might be able to get a coach. You could have come and joined me.
Yeah, but I had work the next day. I needed to get to work. That's the other thing. I was like, I got work the next day. I can't miss a day of work. And I got there and the guy, I tried again. I was like, no, not yet. And he got out and I was like thanking him. I tipped him on the app. I gave him a really nice tip. And he came back and he's like, oh, is this your... And I dropped my Sonic sunglasses in there. And he actually came back to give me my Sonic. He's just like the biggest... He's just like, oh, I wish... you're listening. I doubt you're listening. He's like the biggest hero ever. And I got up to Eurostar. And I have to go through a certain line because of how my discount works. And the annoying thing is the line that I have to go through, apparently the Eurostar after, everybody had to go through that line because they have to reprint everyone's ticket because they changed the Eurostar. And I'm on the Eurostar before and I'm like, no, I need to get through security. And then like security was going slow, but I just got really lucky on one of them. They just opened it up and said, just go over there. Like just go in that line where there's like nobody there, like no like line. And I was like, oh thank God. Like I didn't even ask to like, because sometimes like people go, oh I got the earlier train, can I go? Like can I cut ahead? So I managed to get through, get there, and guess what? The train before is bloody late, so it means it was like you could have told me that when I was panicking in the taxi.
Ever typical. I think it always happens. The Eurostar's always late in summer because eat on the rails.
Yeah, so... Oh, because I got into the station, and the station was just heaving with people, like at the bottom. And I was like, oh god, I hate watching Eurostars. So luckily when I got to Eurostar, it wasn't too bad. It was like, okay, this is respectable. You could actually get in. Like, I've like been way back where you have to like just to get into like the first queuing area. And then I'm just like, I was just like, oh, please, like... So I got myself a drink, like, got in line, because people were already getting in line. Spoke to like a really nice like English guy. Then it said eventually they started letting us in, and then guess what happened? A train came in. The train came in the platform opposite, and then we get an announcement saying we have to delay boarding now because we can't have 2 trains boarding at the same time because everybody was coming out the other train. So they didn't want people getting all on the wrong trains and stuff. So they said we're going to have to let everybody off this other train before we can let people board again. So more delays! And I'm sitting there like, I'm actually like, because as I'm single, I'm like, oh, someone sit. Because I had been trying to like book that nobody would sit. I tried it on the way there. And it was one of those ones I thought I was going to get away with it. And then just magically this bag appeared, and it was like some father who like got separated from his family because I think they had booked like really last minute tickets. So I had to sit next to this random guy the entire way there. Which I was just like, ugh. So I was like, oh, it's going to be the same again. I'm like sitting there like waiting for like, the person next to me to come because I'm sitting in the aisle seat this time. And no one comes. I just got this whole area. And I'm like, great, at least I got a whole area. Like, okay, the taxi thing was a pain. I'm safe now. Guess what comes over the tannoy when we're starting? It comes up.
Delays.
Yeah, it comes up. It's like we have been given a message that we're not allowed to go fast. We can only go slow until we like hit Lyon. No, not Lyon. Is it the Bordeaux? Like the Bordeaux area. We have to. They've told us we have to slow down. And literally at some point we're literally just going like running speed on Eurostar, and I'm not just looking in all these like random French villages, and I'm just like, really do like, I mean, I'm a lot more chill now. Like, I'm physically on the Eurostar, but then I'm thinking, oh god, what's the Eurotunnel going to be like? Because in the past that's where like all the nightmares have happened. I've heard stories of people just being stuck outside of the Eurotunnel for 2 hours. Like, ready to let through.
I was wondering if at this point, you were going to put on your Sonic glasses to hide the tears because you couldn't go fast.
Yeah, I couldn't go fast. I could only go slow. I could go slow like I believe Sonic. And eventually we got back up to Bordeaux, and we were allowed to go fast again. And the guy was like, he was like, "Don't worry, guys, we're only an hour 45 minutes late." And I was like, okay, I'm in a nice air-conditioned room. Like, I have a really nice seat, nobody some random father who's booked late tickets next to me. I don't have anything like that. I can, I was sitting there just chilling, watching the new South Park. I was like, you know what, I'm really thingy. And this is it, because I have another YouTuber I watch. We actually met him last MCM, Kevin Chapman. We actually met him. He was actually at TwitchCon in Holland because he's doing his vlogs right now. Please do check him out if you're not, Kevin Chapman. And I think I was like, because I think he would have left shortly after me. He was taking Eurostar to from Holland. He just got absolutely stranded. Like, he had to buy like a business class ticket to get home. In the end, that was like £1,000. I mean,
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a streamer, but still, that's a lot of money and stuff.
It's a ridiculous amount. Most people wouldn't be able to do that last minute, or they would be like very reluctant. Yeah,
and I think he also, when he got back to London, he couldn't get like back to where he lives, so he had to like stay in a hotel. Of course, he had to stay in a hotel overnight, then pay like almost £1,000 for a business class Eurostar ticket. So that's how like, so when I know it was bad, and it was like, I was lucky because then when I got to Euros to the end, the train I normally take, that line had just totally shut down, so I had to take the tube on the hottest day of the year. It was, and I was
only a smiling place for you.
And I was just like, it's so hot. I didn't want to take the tube today. So I was like, oh. I had like my fans.
Things though, it was probably one of the least problematic things you went through that day.
Yeah. Going on the tube was the least. Lucky, my dad came down to pick me up for the last part. So.
That's good.
No, dad saved me. So it was like it was both the French taxi, the French Uber driver. Bless you, whoever you are, my father saved me that day. And and I'm just looking at this, I was like reading like how Kevin had got really. I think it was just one of those things. So I think my best piece of advice is if the day you leave, I would recommend leaving on an earlier plane, an earlier Eurostar, because if your Eurostar or your plane messes up, there's more likely chance they're going to get you on a plane or a ticket, and plus hopefully stuff hasn't messed up fully that day. That would be that's the moral of the story. Go the early bird. Got home.
or you could do it another way. You could do it my way, which is probably a bit more chaotic.
Yeah.
But like, if you fancied staying an extra day, one of the best things you can do, if you have the energy, post convention or post Japan Expo in particular, is you can go over to the airport and get the bus over to Park Asterix.
I do want to go to Park Asterix. We should go to Park. We should just do a Park Asterix.
Next year, I think we should go. I know a couple of people are definitely interested in going after seeing me go.
Yeah.
I want to go to Park Asterix.
You should come next year then. You should come, and like, it's very good. And like, basically, I went there, and it was open. The park was open until 9, and it was really dead. Like, it was there were 5 queues and everything. And you could just literally ride everything and then have nice breaks in between. And then I basically just left about 8 to make sure I got back in plenty of time for my coach. Didn't have too many issues with the train. The train was quite straightforward. The trains had fixed themselves by then. So I got back okay from that coach. But I definitely of course, not everyone wants to take a midnight coach, so you could probably get a cheap hotel at the airport area, and it's really good actually, because I mean, people might be concerned about what do I do with bags and whatnot, but if you go to Park Asterix, and they actually they can hold bags in their offices, and it's only €5. It was really cheap.
That's great.
I was a bit worried, because when I went there I was like, oh god, I've got a huge bag, I hope I can store it. But they can store the bags away for just €5, and then I was like,
excellent,
happy to go around the rest of the event. And I think you definitely want to come next year, Tim, because they have frozen Coke. I found frozen Coke again.
We do like frozen Coke. We do.
Yeah, and it comes with you can mix it with the frozen Fantas as well. So it's one of those bottles which has 3 sections, and you can mix all 3.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So
wow.
Come to Park next year, guys. Yeah,
definitely. We're almost. This is almost a 2-hour episode. I can't believe it. I mean, it's the longest episode we've ever done.
It is. Wow. There's a lot to cover. Just if you talk about cons abroad, there's a whole lot more to explore outside the UK.
Yes. So maybe we'll do some other. Shall we just quickly do a list of cons that we would all like to go to abroad that we've not done yet?
Yeah. You want to start off because you've not had much chance
come
to
on, Rebecca, let's start.
Oh, this is a hard. There's some that I wouldn't mind. I'd like to try Takumi at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dokumi would be a good one. I could take you along for Dokumi.
Yeah, that's because they have consistent Hololive guests there.
Yeah.
As well, and it's pretty.
That's a good point. Do have a good fan community there.
We want to go see Kiara.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I need to look that up for next year.
Yeah, you should definitely.
Where else would you like? Where other cons would you like to go, Rebecca?
This is a hard one. It's there's some that I like the idea of, but I'd probably be expensive, or wouldn't mind having a nose at Lucca at some point.
Okay, no, Lucca's very good, I think, for cosplay photos, if you want cosplay photos, because it's practically got a whole cathedral you can take photos in, and a whole really nice, pretty area of Italy.
I just haven't really been much in a con mood recently.
That's
You
fair.
know what I mean? I just feel a bit of disconnect from the community, but that's just me. But
Okay.
I mean, you've got a couple of events coming up, and hopefully those will.
Yeah, I just feel very disconnected from my community, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good time to get. It's a good time for us to get to know a lot more people, and we can get to know people abroad as well.
Yeah.
I know the cons I want to go to abroad. Do
you want to go last though, or do you want me to go?
Oh, do you want to go next?
Yeah, we've heard Tim. You've spoken a lot today.
Let's save your special news for the last minute. Okay.
Yeah.
As you are, but yes, like in terms of events I'd like to go to. I mean, I'd like to try the original viencon, ColossalCon at that time, because they have a much more extensive water park. I think they have a fully committed zoo, like an actual proper zoo there. So I mean, that would be nice.
Tigers.
I'd like to. Admittedly, I'm actually waiting on an international event. It's not so much a convention, but there's a music event that's called Monster of Dolls that sadly had to be delayed a couple of years, and I still have a ticket invested in that, and that's in Italy. It's usually in Bologna, and they had a nice lineup of music acts. If you liked idol music or like alternative idol music, it's very good, and like hopefully they'll announce new dates so I can go to that sometime. And I think maybe we'd like to go to one of the Spanish events, but like Japan weekend does look fun, and I do have a couple of friends down there who would be nice to me again. But other than that, I think I'm pretty happy with what the UK provides, and of course Japan Expo and viencon. Yeah.
My ones I think are more simple. Wouldn't mind trying Crunchyroll Expo, Anime Expo. I guess a American con I'd like to try, maybe Otakon or something like that. I would like to go to more Japanese events. I have been to Anime Japan once. I would like to go to Comiket at some point. I think we all want to go to Comiket.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
It'll be chaos.
It seems very, very busy. Crazy busy.
But I would like to at least say, hey, I did Comiket. I did the Comiket run. I'm trying to think what else. I think he said Crunchyroll. I think Crunchyroll Expo may be one of the more likely, as it's slightly smaller, and I don't think it's quite got the
not as chaos
as Anime Expo has become.
Yes.
All right. So that was an interesting day. That was an interesting episode. Did you enjoy being on today, Karen?
No, it was good. Thank you for having me on. It was very nice chat.
Yeah.
And I'd say, like, for anyone interested in going to Japan Expo, I'd definitely check it out because, the tickets are really good priced. Like, apparently the French people do complain about ticket prices, but it's £50 for 4 days.
Yeah.
When you look at MCM, it's £80 for 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
You will get really good value for the event.
Exactly.
Hopefully it's a much bigger lineup. But yeah, I definitely both recommend checking out international events, and Japan Expo and viencon definitely are highlights of my summer.
Also, like,
what about
you? Yeah, we're saying I'm looking forward to the rest of the summer. Kitacon, I'm absolutely shattered.
Now that I've finally sorted out my Kitacon travel.
Yay! And thank you, Rebecca, for being an amazing co-host yet again.
Thank you, even though I feel like I've done nothing.
And hopefully you can come to Japan Expo next year because it'll be wild. Hopefully it'll have all the guests back, and maybe I'll have Holo Live. Who knows?
Maybe we can look forward to lots of Rebecca coverage for viencon, of course.
Yes. So you get
and KidCon.
Yes. You get to be in charge of the vlog. No tip.
Yeah, I get to be in charge of part of vlog Kita as well.
Yes, because I'm not going to be there in the first day. Right, this is just a reminder that we're on social media. We're at Twitter at animeintheuk, and we're also on Instagram at animeintheuk0, and it's up here somewhere. So thank you so much, girls, for coming on. and being a wonderful
Exactly. Thank you very much for having us.
And hopefully we'll have you back on at some point again, Karen. It's been wonderful having you. And this is our 20th episode. It's amazing we got to episode 20. So yeah, thank you for coming to our 20th episode spectacular. Right, until next time, see you again soon. Bye bye.
See you again.
Bye.
Bye.